I've never been accused of using not enough straps. Okay, before I turn the camera and show you what I have for a counterweight on my tractor, I have to promise not to laugh. Hey everybody, this is Matt with Firewood in the Field. Thanks for checking out the channel today. Apologies for the shaky camera, don't have my tripod. I'm actually stopping by a place on the way home from work today. I got the truck behind me with the trailer hooked up. Even though the truck says it's 97 degrees Fahrenheit out here, I'm gonna go get some firewood. So stay tuned, and if you're out here in this heat, stay safe. Log number one.
We might need a block on the other side to keep that from rolling.
All right, made it home. The old Dodge earning its keep yet again. And I've never been accused of using not enough straps. I'd rather have extra. And of course, you have to. It's required. It's not going anywhere. The only reason I made it home safe was I said the words before I left. So, 97 degrees on the truck thermometer. I'm actually going to put the logs right down here, and gonna have to go in. I got to take my daughter to practice, so need to let it cool down a little bit anyway. We're out here cooking in the sun, so it's sunset doesn't set. I don't think sunset is officially until 8:30 p.m. So I got plenty of time to get back out here and get this unloaded. Plans for this initially, looking at it, is probably just going to be personal use. I've got my woodshed full, but I'll just put these logs over off to the side on some old 6x6s. With all these crooks and knots and everything, I mean, this main trunk, I can make some pretty firewood out of this main trunk, but even the main trunk, there's a lot of branches coming off of it. It was a yard tree, right? So I expect when I split this, I'll get a lot of twisties and curved pieces and stuff that won't stack real nice. It'll burn just fine for me, and I like oak. And put it in the wood yard, and we'll get going. So when you see me come back, I'll be with tractor unloading logs. All right, I'm back. It's coming up on 8 p.m. I think official sunset is around 8:30, so I should have until almost 9 for some usable light. Hope it won't take that long just to unload a couple logs off the trailer. And I took a quick measurement. That log is 17 inches at that cut end right there. There's another log behind it. It starts where that cut is and goes about the same distance down to the root ball. The root flare where they cut it is about 27, but it tapers right away. So at the usable firewood limit, I would say probably 24-inch diameter log overall. Okay, before I turn the camera and show you what I have for a counterweight on my tractor, I have to promise not to laugh. So I've got my 3-point carryall on the tractor. It's not that heavy by itself, and what's in it isn't all that heavy either, but I have about 20 of those rain caps stacked in there. So I took them off all my totes that are out in the field. I left a few of them off to the side, and maybe there's only a dozen. Now that I look at it, maybe there's a dozen. So it's not that much weight. The 3-point carryall plus all that plastic in the back is maybe 400 pounds if I had to guess. I do have fluid in the rear tires. I do have the front axle reinforcement kit on this tractor, and that's exactly why I got it. It's for peace of mind for situations like this, because I'm going to do dumb stuff with my equipment. If you didn't see my other videos, I do have a discount code. If you do have a TYM tractor, there are several different models. That company, and I'll put a link to their website in the video description, and I'll put a banner here on the screen. They have several different models of tractors where they make the very similar front axle reinforcement kit. So go check out some of my other videos. I'll put link on the screen to the videos where I did an install and recently a review. And I really like the product. It gives me peace of mind when I'm doing dumb stuff like this. Let me get the camera repositioned as best I can. I don't have a ton of daylight, so I can't mess with the camera too much, but I'm going to take that curved log off the top and just set it off to the side to get the two big ones, put them on the ground, and then come pick up the curved one and set it on my little stack where my logs are, where my 6x6s are. Hope got a good shot of that on camera. Just barely had enough weight on the back of the tractor to do that. What was happening was I had to get it over the fender. There's like a knot sticking down on that big log, and there was a leftover limb from the other log that fell off. So I just did scrape my fender a little bit, but nothing that just a little rattle can spray job won't fix. So I definitely don't recommend doing that. But yeah, it was definitely light in the back end. I had it in 4-wheel drive. But that's really hard on the front end. Let me move the camera, get the slog put over here where it's going to go. Didn't mention this logs are right at 20 foot long. The next log's a little shorter, but it's bigger, and I'm not going to be able to lift it over my fender, at least not without a counterweight. I think the tractor could get it off of there, but I need heavier on my 3-point. So I'm going to reposition the truck so I have room, and I'm going to go get my little grapple, my chain deal, and drag that log off the trailer so I can pick it up with the forks off the ground. So I'm trying to get going here before we're out of daylight. All right, everybody, it's going to be a wrap. It's 8:29 p.m., so official sunset for my zip code is now. Just got enough daylight left. The camera's still picking up in color. I hope it looks like it on the screen. But I don't recommend doing what I just did. This should have had a heavier ballast on the 3-point. I got away with it because my tires are filled in the rear, and this is a pretty capable machine for a compact tractor. And I did count those tote bladder halves. The rain caps, there are a dozen of them in there. So I think my guess of about 400 pounds of ballast on the 3-point was accurate. Could have used triple that for what I was doing right here. And in the future I will. But again, a nice plug for the front axle reinforcement kit. When I do dumb stuff like this, I have less worries about front axle seals leaking and things of that nature because of that kit. Doesn't make it bulletproof, but it sure helps. There's the 3 logs. Where they cut it off with the root ball is about 27 inches, but if you come up just 8-9 inches, it tapers down to about 24, so I'll cut that off and just either chunk it up for my scraps bin or I'll put it in the burn pile. Well, appreciate you coming along for the ride with me tonight. So it was just a short video, but I wanted to capture it while I could. And yeah, these aren't official Woodyard gear. It's just too hot. I didn't want to keep the jeans and the t-shirt and everything on, so I got just the old gym clothes out just because they're a little bit lighter, a little more breathable. But as always, appreciate you being here. Appreciate it even more if you consider to hit that like and subscribe button. From Matt at Firewood in the Field, see you next time.